Good morning, listeners of Hot Topic and Fresh News. It's April 5th, 2024, and we've got a full court press of news for you today. The March Madness fever is at an all-time high as the NC State Wolfpack and South Carolina Gamecocks gear up to face off in the women's Final Four basketball game later today. The game is set to kick off at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and will be broadcast live on ESPN and ESPN+. This showdown will determine one of the finalists for the women's 2024 NCAA championship game, happening this Sunday, April 7th, also airing on ESPN. And for those of you who've cut the cable cord, don't worry, we've got you covered. There are several streaming options available to keep you in the loop. From the Hulu Plus Live TV, ESPN Plus bundle to sports-centric Fubo and cost-effective Sling TV, you'll have a front-row seat to every dribble, dunk, and dramatic buzzer beater. And for those specifically interested in the women's Final Four, ESPN Plus is the go-to platform, offering a range of exclusive live events, original shows, and top-tier series. Also, digital HD TV antenna users, you can watch the women's NCAA championship game without a monthly charge, providing you're in an area with good signal reception. This year's exhilarating Women's March Madness tournament, which began on March 20th, will conclude with the national championship game on April 7th. So whether you're watching on ESPN or streaming with ESPN Plus, Hulu Plus Live TV, Fubo, or Sling TV, there are plenty of ways to keep up with the action. Tune in to see which team will advance from tonight's NC State versus South Carolina game to the national championship. It's a day of pivotal matchups in the world of sports, and we'll be here to keep you informed. Hello, listeners. This is your host, Emily, tuning in with you on Hot Topic and Fresh News.
And I'm David, ready to walk you through today's major events.
Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to stay updated with us. Now, without further ado, let's dive straight into the hot topics.
So, we've got these two powerhouse teams, NC State Wolfpack and South Carolina Gamecocks, going head-to-head in the Final Four. Can you provide some context on their journey so far in the tournament?
Absolutely. Both teams have had a phenomenal run in the tournament, showcasing some intense basketball skills and strategies. The Wolfpack and the Gamecocks have both fought their way through the first four, the first and second rounds, the Sweet 16, and the Elite Eight. Their prowess on the court has brought them to this crucial stage, the Final Four.
And for listeners who might not be familiar with the term Final Four, what does it mean?
The Final Four is a term commonly used in college basketball, referring to the last four teams remaining in the March Madness tournament. It's the stage just before the national championship game, so the stakes are extremely high for these teams.
That's some significant pressure indeed. Now, aside from traditional TV broadcasting, the game can also be streamed on ESPN+. Can you tell us more about the benefits of subscribing to ESPN+?
Certainly. ESPN Plus is a subscription streaming platform that provides access to exclusive live events, original studio shows, top-tier series, and of course, games like the Women's Final Four. It's a separate service from the standard ESPN network with a subscription cost of $5.99 per month. There's also an option to save 15% by paying annually.
Interesting. With the number of cord cutters increasing, these streaming options are indeed indispensable. Lastly, it's trivia time. Can you share a fun fact related to March Madness?
Of course. Here's a nugget of trivia for our listeners. The term March Madness was first used in connection with the NCAA tournament in the year of 1982 by sportscaster Brent Musburger. It's become one of the most recognized phrases in sports and perfectly encapsulates the frenzied competition.
That's certainly a fun piece of trivia. Now let's move on to our next headline. Moving on to our main story, this year's March Madness. It seems NC State has been surprising fans in both men's and women's tournaments. What's your take on their performance?
NC State has indeed been a revelation this season. No one expected them to perform this well, especially against top-tier teams. Their resilience and determination have been impressive, to say the least.
Today, they're up against the undefeated South Carolina Gamecocks. Do they stand a chance?
Well, the Gamecocks have been phenomenal this season. Undefeated in the tournament so far, they are a formidable team. But if there's one thing we've learned from March Madness, it's to expect the unexpected. NC State has shown they can handle tough teams, so it's going to be a riveting game.
Absolutely. And for our listeners wanting to follow the game, what are their viewing options?
The NCAA March Madness Women's Final Four basketball game between the NC State Wolfpack and South Carolina Gamecocks will be happening tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time. You can catch the game on ESPN, and it will also stream on ESPN+.
And for those who have cut the cord and don't have cable subscriptions, what's the best way to view the game?
If you don't have a cable subscription, you can still enjoy the game. There are numerous streaming and live TV platforms available. One of the popular options is the Hulu plus Live TV ESPN Plus bundle, which not only allows you to watch the Final Four, but every game of both tournaments. It includes 95 channels offering a wide variety of content.
That's some valuable information for our listeners. Now let's talk about the potential outcome. If the Gamecocks win this game, what does it mean for them?
If the Gamecocks manage to win this game, it will add another victory to their already impressive record. It'll bring them a step closer to the NCAA championship. It's going to be a crucial game for both the teams.
Indeed, high stakes and thrilling action. We'll certainly be keeping a close eye on this game. Let's move on to the next topic. It's clear that streaming sports is becoming more popular, and there are numerous services available. Could you elaborate on some of them and their features?
Absolutely. One service worth mentioning is Fubo. It's a sport-centric streaming service offering access to every March Madness game airing on network and cable TV, plus local TV affiliates and hundreds of cable TV channels. It also has a unique look-back feature, which lets viewers watch sporting events up to 72 hours after they air live.
That's fascinating. What about recording capabilities?
Fubo also offers 1,000 hours of cloud DVR storage, meaning you can record the games and watch them at a time that suits you. And if you're into football, basketball, baseball, or even international soccer, Fubo has you covered.
That's quite comprehensive. And if someone wants to try out Fubo, how can they do that?
Fubo offers a 7-day free trial, so you can test it out. After the trial, it starts at a certain amount per month for the Pro tier, which includes a whopping 190 channels.
That's a lot of options. Now, what if someone wants an even more cost-effective solution to watch the Final Four?
For those on a budget, Sling TV might be a suitable option. It's one of the most cost-effective ways to stream the tournament this year, particularly the Sling TV Orange tier. To watch both men's and women's games, including the Women's Championship game airing on ABC, you'd need to subscribe to the Orange plus Blue tier.
Plenty of options indeed for the cord cutters out there. Now, let's turn our attention back to the upcoming game. We've discussed some streaming services, but how about ESPN Plus? How does it fit into the mix?
ESPN Plus is a separate subscription streaming platform by ESPN. It offers exclusive live events, original studio shows, and premium series not accessible on the regular ESPN networks. It's also available as an app through major smart TV streaming platforms and gaming consoles. Keep in mind, though, ESPN Plus does not include access to the ESPN network. It's a separate sports-centric service.
So let's say you have an ESPN Plus subscription. Could you watch the Women's Final Four on it?
Well, ESPN Plus does allow you to watch the Women's Final Four, but there are some blackout restrictions prohibiting viewers from watching certain in-market games, even if they're nationally televised. If you're looking to avoid those blackouts, the Hulu plus Live TV ESPN Plus bundle might be a better option.
And if you're looking for the most cost-effective solution, what's the price tag on an ESPN Plus subscription?
An ESPN Plus subscription costs $4.99 per month, but you can save 15% if you pay annually. Currently, they are also offering a bundle that includes ESPN Plus with ads, Disney Plus with ads, and Hulu with ads for $13.99 per month.
Now here's an interesting one. What about watching the game with a digital HD TV antenna?
That's a great point. For those who have access to local over-the-air HD TV channels, watching the game with an affordable indoor antenna could be a very cost-effective solution. It's a one-time purchase, and there's no monthly charge.
so there are a myriad of ways to catch the action. Exciting times for sports fans indeed. Let's now shift our focus back to the game. We've talked about how to watch it, but when is all this March Madness action happening?
The women's tournament was slated to be played from March 20th to April 7th, 2024. The men's tournament was scheduled for a similar time frame, from March 19th to April 8th.
And the all-important Selection Sunday, when the tournament's brackets and seeds are released. When did that happen?
Selection Sunday took place on March 17th, 2024.
Let's talk about the games. Could you share some key dates from the women's tournament?
Sure, the NCAA tournament, being single elimination, has several key dates. The first 4 games were on March 20th and 21st. The first round took place on March 22nd and 23rd. The second round followed on March 24th and 25th. The Sweet 16 was on March 29th and 30th, and the Elite 8 took place on March 31st and April 1st. The Final Four was slated for April 5th, and the National Championship was scheduled for April 7th in Cleveland, Ohio.
It's sure to be a thrilling ride. I think we're all set to enjoy the games then.
Thank you all for joining us today on Hot Topic and Fresh News. We've discussed the upcoming March Madness tournament and how to catch the action from different platforms. Your support keeps us going. Remember to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an episode. And please, don't keep us a secret. Share the podcast link with your friends, on your social media, and even at your next family gathering. Your comments are always appreciated.
Absolutely, folks. You wouldn't want to miss our daily news breakdowns, would you? And trust me, we've got some exciting topics coming up. Remember, we're here every day, rain or shine, breaking down the news for you.
We're grateful to have you all as our audience. Looking forward to our next episode already.
And as we always say, stay in the loop, keep your eyes on the news. Our channel's content will amuse. Until next time, folks.